Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and 8,000 hertz polling rate is here on wireless mice. That is absolutely shocking. We had been used to measly 4,000 hertz as the top of the line tech, but thankfully earlier this week Razer dropped a firmware update that allows up to 8K hertz polling on the Viper Mini Signature Edition. I'm sure a very common question is going to be, will Razer allow this on the Death Adder V3 and the Viper V2? As of now, it's not looking like it is. I saw this reply from Razer on Twitter, and basically if I was a betting man, I would bet against it, but I would not say there's a 0% chance. Surprisingly, despite the dongles being identical, apparently there is a difference with the one specifically made for the Viper Mini Signature Edition, which honestly changes the way I view the dongle situation, because at first I thought it was just kind of a scummy move that you couldn't sync up a Viper V2 or Death Adder V3 to the hyper polling dongle that the Signature Edition comes with, but now it just seems like it has better tech that would not be compatible with those, which does make a bit more sense. But yeah, now getting to the actual 8,000 hertz and how it feels, how the implementation is. Gonna start off with the cons, and there are a few, but it is also important to just have like a disclaimer that your mileage is going to vary with anything above 1,000 hertz polling rate. Some people might run into issues with 4,000, but it is going to be a lot more common with 8,000 hertz polling. I've tried multiple 8K hertz wired mice in the past, but this is obviously the first wireless implementation I've tried. Right after installing it, I ran into an issue where I got massive frame drops whenever I would left click, but after just restarting my PC, that went away. And the implementation honestly was feeling excellent. I would say it's most noticeably better than 4K hertz in like aim trainers and just games where there is amazing mouse input like Overwatch, Valorant. Like, I just can't even think of many other games that have that level of mouse feeling, but just something where the mouse input feels extremely clean. In a game like Fortnite, honestly, it gets to certain points where my FPS just isn't high enough and I can feel the 8K hertz just getting more sluggish and the mouse input just not being good. So I would drop it to like 4K or even 2K and have a better mouse input experience in Fortnite. But again, some people's PCs may be more optimized, just a better fucking CPU, better system, and you won't run into any issues with 8K. But obviously 8K hertz battery life is going to be unbelievable. In the first like afternoon night gaming session I used this mouse, it went down over 40% in battery life, so you just got to know what you're getting into. The mouse does come with a fast charging implementation, which honestly makes a lot more sense now that the mouse has 8K hertz polling, and you can just plug it in for really 10-15 minutes and you'll be good to go for the rest of the day, even with that increased battery drain. But this is a situation where you're gonna have to put the mouse to charge every night or like every other night max. It obviously will blink red when it needs to charge, and God forbid you do need to use the mouse with a cable. It's a pretty shitty stiff cable, and the mouse does max out at 1K hertz when it's wired, so you're gonna want to be using it wirelessly. But I would say that those are really going to be the only cons, the battery life being worse. Like, people thought it was bad with 4K and now it's just twice as bad. But what can you expect Razer to do? Like, put a massive battery in the mouse, make it heavier? I feel like the fast charging is a pretty solid solution, and if you don't want the worst battery life, just like use 4K, use 2K. There are ways to circumvent it. And the other issue, which is just stuttering or potential issues with it not working on your system, just use whatever is best for your system. It kind of is intuitive, but I also understand the frustration if you're buying an 8K compatible mouse and you can't get the 8K to work on your system. One thing I've noticed with higher polling rates is I tend to over flick less. Like, the mouse input is just a lot snappier and more responsive, so I don't really over flick as much. It's like I'm able to catch my mouse better and just see the input in a better way. I do think that 8K is marginally better than 4K. I was still using it on 3200 DPI though, and I think maybe testing it on a higher DPI could give me a better experience with it, but I would not say that this is going to be game changing. The benefits you've noticed from 1K to 4K are going to be bigger than what you're going to notice from 4K to 8K, kind of the same way monitors work. I do have a 1440p 360 hertz monitor, the AQN, I believe, from Asus, And since I got a panel with an actually like solid G-Sync module, I swear that mouse input has just overall felt a lot better, and better mouse input has felt better. I've probably said the word better like 100 times in this video. But yeah, the mouse input was just feeling extremely solid. It's easily the best out of any implementation, but that's not really a question. Like, nobody's really competing with Razer when it comes to high-end wireless. I mean, like G-Wolves, like some companies have 4K implementations, but it's like, think Logitech. They have a fucking 1K hertz wireless mouse. How am I supposed to use that garbage when I can be using 8,000 hertz perfection? Perfection is a strong word. Once again, it is going to be pretty game system dependent, and there is the con of worse battery life, but you do get far more mouse pulls, and what more could you want than that? Just a little update on the Viper Mini Signature Edition. Even with the 8K hertz, is it going to be worth $280, or God forbid whatever it's going for aftermarket? No. You can just get one of the $150 mice with the $15 dongle, and you'll probably have, like, I'd say 95% of the same gaming wireless mouse experience. The Viper Mini Signature is probably one of my favorite mice on the market at the moment. Is it the highest quality offering? I mean, honestly, no. There are definitely some issues like click grinding and just the overall side button quality that I would like to see improved. Maybe they have been improved. This is just my fucking batch 1 unit, but I'm still able to perform basically at my best with it, setting lots of scores in Kovacs FPS Aim Trainer with it. And yeah, just in the first few days I've been testing it, I've really been satisfied. Like I said, in some situations I did drop the 8K hertz polling, so it's not like it has been absolutely flawless, but it's just nice. It adds some value to the $280 mouse that at launch didn't really separate itself from Razer's other offerings. So I mean, I feel like the 8K hertz, it definitely adds something. It's going to be more worthwhile for some people than others. Obviously, if you're not on a high refresh rate display to begin with, it's absolutely useless, and it's literally just going to be taxing your CPU for no reason. So that is a prerequisite to like enjoy the tech. But yeah, if you have a good setup, you're going to be able to notice the benefits. 8K, marginally better than 4K. I've already said I don't believe it to be game changing, but I mean, it's pretty cool. I did not think we were going to be seeing 8K hertz wireless in 2023. All of this high polling rate shit happened a bit faster than I expected, but at the same time, Razer basically has these 3950 sensors on lock for a pretty significant amount of time, so I don't think we're going to see other companies competing. Maybe their future products will release with this, though, so it's not only the crazy expensive mouse. But yeah, this was just a little discussion video talking about my personal experience with the tech, because I don't know if anybody else has talked about it, but if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I know that only a few thousand people have this mouse, so it's not really like this video is going to be worth a lot for everybody, but I figure there's just some interest in the higher polling rates. But yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. That is going to be all. Peace.